Greetings, dears. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back with Chronic Wellness. Thank you for joining me. I was thinking today about the very famous work by writer and thinker and Holocaust survivor Victor Frankl. And while he was living through the hellish nightmare of starvation, brutality, being pushed to the brink of what a human body can endure, and living in a concentration camp, he constructed a sanctuary in his mind and built a house brick by brick and made his own kind of peace. And I mean no offense by comparing some of the suffering of chronic pain and chronic illness to that kind of experience. I understand that it is not because of a hateful, genocidal dictator, but nonetheless, it is a kind of prison. It is radical suffering. It is pain that is inexplicable and hard to endure. And it is a kind of inescapable circumstance that Frankl was living with. And I wrote down one of his quotes this week. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And, it seems so fitting for this platform where what I am exploring is how to live well with chronic illness, that I continue to drill into how we find places inside ourselves that are safe, that are hallowed, that could even be sanctuary in the midst of external chaos, in the midst of physical pain, in the midst of terrible circumstances. And much of what we believe separates us from other animals. I'm making a face right now for those of you who are in my listening audience, because y'all, we're animals, just like all the rest of them. I mean, genus, phylum, species, we're manimals, like we got hair all over our bodies. We like to think we're a lot better and different and other and make a lot of constructs. So whatever that is. But we have these powerful, creative minds. And from our earliest days, part of what we do is engage in imaginative play. We are creative. We invent in our mind activities and stories and fantasies and whole made up, often to our detriment, just scenarios that oftentimes aren't based on anything, but sometimes just a kernel of truth, right? And this week, my suggestion to all of us is, how can I be harnessing my creativity, my imagination, my powers for lateral thinking in ways to be changing the circumstances of my daily doldrums, of the challenging obstacles that I'm presented with. I mean, if Victor Frankl could construct in his mind, brick at a time, a house that could become sanctuary for him to inhabit during some of the most harrowing and unimaginable life circumstances. Why can't I? You know, there are parts of the world that I've never seen. I can look them up on YouTube and find pictures of them on the internet. I can start to travel there virtually. I can read books about going there, and hell, I mean, this is the digital age. I can even find a pen pal from that place and start to cultivate a relationship with a place that I've never been, if that is something that delights my heart and engages me and will give me more freedom today. And that's just one tiny example of how to make the imagination factory between my ears work on my behalf to change today's engagement or satisfaction, or as Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change the situation, we're challenged to change ourselves. How are you doing this? What are the ways you're changing yourself? Are there ways that you are engaged in particularly creative or imaginative play that make a difference in your well-being, in your lightness of heart, in your ability to tolerate these really hard circumstances that we're challenged to live with? We need to know about them. So sound off below. And if you're listening to this, surf over to social. I'm at the Annette Leonard on Instagram and lots of other places you can find on my website. But the important thing is to be heard and to contribute. And thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me here. Until we're together again, thanks for being here, and be well.